Do you have a featherweight case or a guitar case that no longer has any spring in its latch? If you do, I've got a little video to show you how to put the spring back. I use a tool that my brother made for me, but you can use a nail with the same diameter as the post the spring sits on and wind your music wire around that. So to make your own springs, you'll need about 3 coils, and I'll show you how I do it with my brother's tool. So I have stainless steel wire, music wire, and the size my brother told me to get is diameter of this. And I cut about a 4-inch piece and bend it about 1/3 of the way. And he made me this handy dandy little tool that I can make the spring nice and tight just like a ready-made one. He was a machine shop teacher, so this part goes down in the vise. Then I hang my wire on here. It's kind of hard to get it started. The first turn is the hardest. Oops. Sorry. Okay, there it goes. If I wasn't filming, I would have my hands in the way. It would make it a little easier, but there we go. And then I've got my start of my spring, and I'll take this inside and show you what I do on the rest of it. Okay, after you make your spring, you're going to put it all back together. But there are more than one kind of latch. This one kind of has the square bottoms. There's one with the points at the ends. I think it was in the 50s. And it doesn't take as many winds around on your spring. But these are a couple that I've redone. I just haven't needed them. So to do this, first thing you do is you take a screwdriver and pry up the first little latch in the back. That's all you have to do. Be careful, have it laying on something so it doesn't get more scratched up. Here's an original where one of the legs is broken off, and that's why your latch has no more spring in it. But here's an original, and here is one that I'm making. So when I look at this, I want to make sure that I have my direction of my coils the right direction, and one leg of it has to go on this side of this little piece. One leg has to go on this side. If you open your case up and look at your other latch that's still working, you'll notice there's a bar running down there. So that's real important. Then we need a little bend in here. So let me lay it down again. This is the first bend I'm gonna make. So use a set of needle nose pliers. And I hold. And I don't wanna make too much of a bend. I'll bend it later when I have it in the, in here. Oops, wrong direction. And the wire is fairly cheap, so if you make mistakes, you can always redo it. this direction, this one is. And I don't want to do too much. So this is going to be the one that goes up to hold it, and I'll cut it off later. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to grab hold of it. And this bend has to bend the other direction. If you get it started bending now, it just makes it easier when you're done. Okay, so we grab our little post and we put our spring on the little post. You can also make the little springs using a nail. That's how I did my first one. And I held one in with pliers and wrapped it around the nail till I had 3 wraps. It's a lot messier looking than the tool my brother made me, but it does work. So I'm gonna lay this and make sure I get one leg up on top. And then I put this in here, like this. Pull it down under there. And we've already got a little bit of spring now. So once you get that in, use vice grips. And this latch is already pretty beat up, but if your latch still looks nice, put a towel or something over it, and you're gonna round that back down and in place. It won't work right till you get it rounded down. And this one, I'm not putting something on just so you can see it. Rounded it back down. Now you already have some spring, but it's got some give to it. So next thing I want to do is I want to clip off my wires. And if I look at my original after the bend, oops. After the bend, there's about 1/2 inch. So go ahead, clip off about 1/2 inch. Do the same thing on the bottom. Then this still needs to be a little tighter. I didn't get it quite tight enough. If you don't have it tight enough, it doesn't spring right. There we go. There we go. Now I have it. Okay, then we need to take where we've already bent it. And put a little more flip in it. Now we're getting a nice flip in it, but I want it to stay up all the way, like the originals did when they first made them. Bend in that one. And now when you attach it back to the case, it goes up, and sometimes these lay in here crooked, so you just kind of adjust it. Bend this one just a little more. Go. And then it's just like the original. You can put in rivets, or you can do nuts and bolts and put that back on the top of the case, and it's done. Okay, here's the tool that my brother made for me. It's got a post in the middle, a little ridge right here where you lay your spring in, then you put the top one on and twist, and it makes consistent, perfect coils for you. So I'll take close-up of each end too for you so you can see that.